Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Moose in the Supermarket podcast. My name is Phil.
My name is Sean.
My name is Mo.
And in this episode, we're just going to talk about MAGFest, our current plans for this year of the convention, and past experiences going. This is probably my 7th year.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I think it's our 7th, yeah.
And we also have a special guest, our friend Raymond.
All right.
So who wants to start with some stories or plans for the current year?
Well, you were going to tell me something about what happened last night.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How about you go into that?
All right, let's do it. All right, I'm gonna change some names around for secrecy and privacy reasons. But basically, last night I go to the soapbox area at like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm listening to these stories going around and having a good time. I walk out around 2, and I run into a friend of mine named Al, and he basically is like, "Hey, you want to go and get some drinks upstairs?" I'm like, "Sure." Little did I know that it would turn into an amazing experience. Basically, I go up, I take a shot of rum, I get a copy of the Prince of Egypt soundtrack because they're just handing them out. And I'm like, good movie. I saw it one time on VHS as a kid in Spanish.
Well, there you go. Okay.
At a friend's house, like years ago.
So did they sing in Spanish?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But basically, after that, we went to a hotel party further up, and basically it was pole dancers. Everybody was watching Adventures. I'm not making this up. It's pole dancers. I had a couple beers there. I ran into a bunch of mods from some of the Facebook groups, and they're both really nice. And they were all watching Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, the cartoon with Julia White. I'm not making this up. That was amazing, and it was just an amazing, wholesome experience.
Nice. Somebody making chili dogs in the corner?
I wish. That would have been the tip of the iceberg, but no, I was satisfied. Then after that, played some video games. Played that new tank game downstairs, where it's like a roller coaster kind of motion thing, where you get to take your picture. And went to bed at like 3:30 in the morning. Can't say that was a god tier experience. That was Speedwagon level experience. But enough about me. What about you guys?
Oh, man.
I feel like Mo's been doing a lot.
Oh, my God. Okay, so for me, for the listeners to know, currently I have not slept. So far, I've been up for what time is it now? Pretty much close to 30 hours.
It's like that. It's like Sean, last year was like, day 30, going on day 30. It's like, no, you should be sending that to Mo.
Right. So I've been up for about 30 hours. Not for any particular reason. I just didn't feel tired enough to bother to go to sleep. Although I was told I was drifting off this morning when I was sitting in the chair. So basically what happened was, I played Joust. That's pretty much what I play every year.
Yeah.
You play with the PS Move controllers connected to the Raspberry Pi, which I believe, yeah, it was that one. Yes. So I played 2 variations of that. I did one over by the registration with Raymond, and he actually got me out a few times too. We did that, and then after that, I actually played a game called it's what was it called, Pancake Game or something like that, right? So you basically could just call it poker with pancakes, and I mean by pancakes I mean actual pancakes. Some people were in the indie area making fucking little baby-sized pancakes. They serve.
Where was this?
The registration area.
In the registration area. So here's the deal with that. So I do have the number. You call them up. They actually delivered those pancakes, freshly made, mind you, to you. Now, the game itself, think of it as, it's kind of reminds you of Yahtzee, but you're gambling, but you gamble pieces of pancakes. So for obvious reasons, you can't eat the pancakes.
Oh.
So,
well, then I'm not interested. No. That's how I want some pancakes at 2 in the morning. That's why I really wanted it.
Well, I think we were. I think it was 1 in the morning when we were playing that. I believe.
Yeah. This was after 1.
Yeah,
it was after 1.
We were
This is
playing
almost
that,
2 o'clock. Yeah.
So we were. That's how you get conflu, man. You can't just be eating those. Now they will give you some pancakes though that you actually eat, and no one's hands have been on it. But yeah, just think of it as Yahtzee and you're gambling pieces. So you gamble 1/3 of your pancake or something like that, right? and you roll like 5 dice, and it's a regular 6-sided die, not the dodecahedron kind of dice where it has like freaking,
I will claim your soul.
Like roll for initiative and stuff.
I will say that's the thing I love about this convention the most. People just come up with the most out of the box stuff.
Oh yeah.
And some of this stuff they'll come up within like 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like the Shrek. Like this year we had the Shrek Shrine. We brought back the DeVito Shrine. Somebody had a VHS copy of Shrek that they just put in the middle of the shrine.
Oh my gosh.
Then it got taken down. Then somebody remade it. Then it got taken down again.
Oh man, so I gotta find it again.
It's somewhere out there, but the second one got taken down.
Yeah, it had to. Like all the stuff, it had more stuff than the first one, I believe.
Yeah, the DeVito Shrine is just becoming a Junji Ito like monstrosity. But basically, like, this so far has probably been my favorite MAGFest since probably 2018. Probably.
Yeah, it's been a really good one.
Not to say 2019 was bad at all, but this is really like people really brought their A game this year.
Yep, there seems to be a lot more going on.
Yeah.
Like
a lot more variety.
They don't have a whole lot of like special guests this year, but like they have a lot of makeup content for it.
Yes.
What I've been doing is in past years I tend to like go to all the panels on music and theory and things like that, and it's been fun, but it got stale real quick.
Yeah.
And so lately, of like the past couple of years, I've shifted my focus from like sit down panels to live performances and like workshops on music. And since I've done that, it has like really been a really great time for me.
Last year for me really was my big concert year. Really, this year all my concert stuff has been either in the bar at the Gaylord or tonight. Really is my big concert stuff.
What are you looking forward to tonight specifically?
Proto Man, I saw them in 2017, and they were probably the highlight of that year. And having them come back as well as Super Soul Bros. I mean, they're here every year almost, but them doing another big show like 2018 really will make things. Or 2016, I think it was 2016. Yeah. But see, like I've been going for so long that some of the years just kind of blend into each other.
like the only way I can tell the difference between each year is like what the badge was, because each year is a theme or something like that. So if you say, oh yeah, the Castlevania year, I'm like, oh yeah, it was that one and stuff like that. So that's the only way I can remember, because if you just say like MAGFest like 15, I'm like, I don't know what that one is. What was the theme? Like,
yeah, I think also this year just started off good. Once we got to the Gaylord, like my friend Al, who I had the party with last night, we just ran into each other. We just jammed on some stuff. So I was playing guitar in jam space downstairs with a guy dressed up as Luigi playing bagpipes, who was at the party last night as well.
Phil somehow finds like the most interesting people to hang out with that night.
I just run into people, man. I just try to be for me, as long as you're not a Nazi or whatever, I'll be friends with pretty much anybody. As long as you're not a racist or whatever, or as long as you don't talk bad about Evangelion or My Hero Academia. No, John's cool. I met him a couple years ago. John's a good dude. He got me into JoJo more so than even Mo, I think.
Yeah.
But it's like, look, if you diss, I don't mean to go on a tangent, but if you diss Sue, we're gonna have a problem. Get the shoe. But going back, let's hear about our what Raymond. Like, what are your favorite moments of MAGFest?
Just in general, it's normally the concerts, it's the music, and just even just like popping up and stuff in like the atrium at the Gaylord. Like just I'll walk through there and I'm just like, oh, this sounds really awesome. I'm gonna just spend the next hour here. So. That's definitely always been my favorite part. Last night, so I just got here last night, and so I got to go by the arcade for a little while, but definitely the highlight of the night was playing Joust. Like that was.
I gotta say, the arcade has never looked better. Probably since the first 2 years, arcade's never
real organized.
Yeah.
Arcade's never looked that professional. It's always been hit or miss. Last year, I had fun with it, probably more so than the past few years. But no, they really brought their A game with the arcade machines this year.
I wasn't out there, that long when I was out there, but I feel like at least in the arcade section, it was not as many vintage games as there was last year. I don't know if anyone else felt that.
He's totally right. I remember like the first couple of years, there was a whole like section of nothing but like vintage games, like just versions of Pac-Man. Someone had an old version of Asteroids, like the old Atari kind of games, or like the old Nintendo games. Yeah, there wasn't many of that, and like, even in past years, it seemed more like they try to consolidate it into like more just one machine. Yeah. Like there was one machine that had like Excite Bike, Duck Hunt and stuff. All in one. So yeah, with a lot of that, because I think this year they focused more on like the import games that are like rhythm based. So like there was
it's a whole row of that.
Yeah, it was more of the not to mention mostly multiplayer based games too, where like a lot of the cabinet games would like link up to play one game. Yeah. Like they had that Gundam one. Which I was trying to get on that, which was a lot of fun. Yeah. This time it seemed like for Killer Queen they didn't have just like 8; they had like 16. So they had like 4 cabinets all linked up. With I'm like, holy shit, that's huge. Yeah. So there was that, and then of course the arcade like actual fighting ones. They have a lot more of those as well. Like they had 2 versions of Sonic the Fighters. They had like different versions of Street Fighter. Not nearly as many Mortal Kombat games, but a lot of I noticed also consoles. Consoles was actually really good too.
Yeah, they actually have an addition this year because in past years, like people just bring their Switches, but now they have a designated section where you can like plug in your system into the dock and then play on one of the TVs.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I thought that was really cool.
Genius.
That was brilliant.
Was there more Smash Brothers set? Was it like it seemed like it took the whole northern or
yes, there like was. They actually have a designated corner for that. Yeah, and of course, naturally, most of them were Ultimate and Melee.
That was pretty much last year for me. One night, I think it was Saturday night. It was just me staying till like 4 a.m. playing Melee with a bunch of people in the back. That was fun.
So I'm starting to think that the trend is you're supposed to stay up late as fuck just to play games. I mean, which makes sense. It's a 24-hour thing.
3 a.m.
I think I forgot who brought it up. They felt so bad for the volunteers. First of all, they're not getting paid to do this, and like I think there was one time it was like 5 in the morning where I'm like, crap, I gotta go to the bathroom. Which, by the way, you have the most interesting conversations in the bathrooms. So, like, I forgot what I was talking. It was like me and like 3 other guys. We were talking about something in the bathroom. It was a good conversation. Like, and we're like, why are we having this conversation in the bathroom? No, we got places to be. But mind you, it's 5 in the morning.
3 a.m. in the arcade is a magical time.
Yes, it is. It's like darn near empty.
Yeah.
Like I actually learned a couple of games and beat a few games that whole time that I was there because there was nobody there. I could just keep going if I lost.
Yeah, Thursday night in the console room for this year, they had the PlayStation Fight Sticks hooked up to Tekken 3.
Yes, I played that. I was playing that earlier.
I was soloing arcade mode with Eddie Gordo in Tekken 3 arcade. It was the best.
Yes.
It was that was one of my highlights beside the party. Yeah. But I think Mo wants to share a particular story from a few years ago.
Wait, which way? Hold on. 2017. Oh my god, that one. Okay, so
the year we didn't stay at the window.
Yeah, I think that's somewhere we were at Alexandria. So that was crazy. So that year, I ventured off, got in a party. Naturally, the best stories involve you going into some random party. So went there. Hung out with some people, got into like discussions about anime and Hamilton, the actual musical and stuff. And the guys were like really cool. Some of them were from like Cleveland. I think a couple of the guys were from like Detroit and stuff like that. So basically, they traveled here. And they're like, hey man, you're real cool. You know, why don't you hit this bowl? And by bowl, I don't mean like a bowl of cereal. I mean like bowl of actual that green stuff. The
sticky icky.
The lazy leaf. The devil's cabbage.
Yes, I hit some of that on top of a 40.
The Who Hash.
So I was drunk off my ass and high as fuck. Got down to like the ground level, kind of like near the entrance to the dealer's room, because that's where like there's like that like random rave there and stuff. I'm not dry. I'm high. I'm drunk. And I got a bottle of bourbon in my bag. I'm dancing my ass off.
And he's just pouring. He's pouring it to people.
And I'm pouring to random people. I don't care what their age is. I probably should have gotten in trouble for that.
Basically, I show up at like 2 o'clock in the morning because something got canceled that I was going to go to, or I got blown off one time. So I'm just sitting around just kind of figuring out what else to do. Mo texts me. It's like, oh, hey, I'm downstairs. So I'm like, where downstairs? I'm like, oh, I'm in the rave. I'm like, okay, so I go downstairs. Mo's just dancing around, swinging the bottle around. He gives me the bottle to just give to people. So I start giving the bottle to all these like dancers, and one girl's like, she just takes the bottle and just like swigs it. And she's like, thanks. And I was just complimenting people. Then I run into this one girl wearing a Sonic gown. And I'm talking to her for like 20 minutes while Mo's dancing in the pit area. It turns out, so I was like, so I'm just making small talk with her. And she was like, oh yeah, my boyfriend's over there. I'm like, where? Her boyfriend was wearing a giant Sonic mask that was like made out of paper mache or whatever with fur. He's walking around taking the hat off. Turns out there's a bag of wine that's just pouring into people's mouths. So her boyfriend goes up to me. It's like, hey dude, do you want some wine? I'm like, sure. He just gives me the bag and just pours it into my mouth. And I still had, mind you, I still had the bottle of Jack, so I give it to the both of them. Then they give it back to me. Then I go find Mo. It's like 3 a.m. Mo, and I was like, Mo, I think it's time to go home. And so, like, when we get back to the Spring Hill Suites, we're just fucking laughing about some dumb shit. And Heather and Terrell and Raymond. No, it wasn't Raymond. It was
I think no, it was wasn't
Maurice.
Wait,
other Mo was staying with us.
Was he?
Yeah, it was other Mo, Terrell, and Heather was staying with us that year.
What I thought wasn't that the year that Heather's cousin was with us?
Probably. I don't remember. Maybe
someone was there.
Well, someone was there, but basically we got we got back in the room like almost like 3:30 in the morning, like usually happens, and everybody's just looking at us, and we're just like laughing about dumb shit.
Funny story. I don't remember any of that last part.
No, I was just talking about. We were just talking about music or something. It was like, Mo, you know, I just want to be a rock star just so I can get laid, right? And we just start bursting out laughing about. I think I remember the conversation. We just started talking about random nothing. It was just the best.
Well, I mean, that's what you expect to happen. Like, at 3 a.m. after getting drunk at MAGFest. Oh,
it's the best.
I feel like that's like...
I'm just going to say this. 2 to 3 in the morning at MAGFest is a magical experience.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know what's going to happen. Exactly. Nothing is prepared. You think 12:30 is it where everybody slows down? No, that's just like a cool down period. You just hit a couple beers. But no, once 1:30, 2 o'clock, it's...
Once you hit that point,
that's where it gets interesting.
You start getting the panels about like snack cakes and.
The panel I was supposed to go to the other night, it was like just some girl talking about her cat, and like a lot of us came because like, oh cool, we get to pet this fat cat. It wasn't even there.
Like the thing is too, like there's this one girl like handing out weed brownies. I think last year, I was trying to look for her, but apparently by the time I went to go find her, they were all gone. So I was really disappointed. But luckily, I found something else that year to kind of look forward to.
While supplies last.
It was like insane. But other than that, like, what are your favorite concerts so far that you've been to at MAGFest?
Oh, definitely like Samus. She is someone I see every time that she comes here.
I caught some of her like a mini set one year, but it's been years.
Like she just like she puts her whole soul into her performances, and like it was a sin that I have not picked up her music until yesterday. Like actually buying her music is everyone. This is a call to action right here. Go to samus.bandcamp.com, buy all of her music because it is like 100% the best that you'll hear.
I heard some of it, but she was doing a concert I think last night, but I had to skip it because I had to do something like I had a bunch of stuff going on randomly yesterday. But some of my favorite concerts have been Proto Men, Sonic Adventure, the Sonic Adventure Music Experience, aka like Half a Crush 40, June who's the composer for all the Sonic Adventure games. Got to meet him right after the show. One of the best concerts. That was a lot of fun. Even though I missed like the first 2 minutes of it, it was great. Super Guitar Bros have always been chill and great and lovely people. Seen so many concerts. Knights of the Round were good. Super Soul Bros have been great. I can't really say I've really had a bad concert experience, really.
Yeah. Nope. All of them.
I saw a Motorhead tribute band Thursday night called Motorizer. I thought they were doing chiptune music as Motorhead songs, but no, it was a Motorhead cover band, and they were good. Yeah, like that's from really off the top of my head, really. What about Mo or Raymond?
I haven't had a bad concert experience either. My favorite one was probably that I've seen live was probably this band called V-Jams. I saw them last year. Apparently they performed last night, but unfortunately they weren't on like the actual app thing. I had to go on to Facebook to find out. They already performed last night, so I didn't realize that. So that kind of stuff. But they're definitely probably my favorite one I've seen live. I've seen some online that I like still listen to today. So Metal Metroid, they performed a while ago.
Oh yeah, they were great too. I forgot to add them.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite. I love watching that.
I miss them. They need to come back.
And then Yuzo Koshiro, he did like the Streets of Rage soundtrack and like Revenge of Shinobi and a couple other big games. He did a performance a few years ago. So I listened to both of those like probably every 2 weeks, like 2 to 3 weeks. I end up listening to their live sets.
I forgot to add Steel Samurai and Bit Brigade are also fantastic.
I was so sad last year because I could only go for 1 day because I was starting a new job. And of course, the 1 year that I can only go 1 day, Bit Brigade comes. My favorite that I see every time I'm at.
Oh, they're always going.
And they came on a day that I wasn't going, and I was so sad.
Yeah,
I was kind of in the same boat. I only basically had 1 day here last year also. And so like I came in at night, and then literally the next day I left. And actually, I think I saw V-Jams. I got lucky. I saw V-Jams. I think did you stay with me when I saw V-Jams? Did me and you walk out together? Were you leaving when I was leaving?
I believe so.
Yeah, so I think me and Mo were leaving. Like I was walking to go catch an Uber to the airport, and then I just happened to hear V-Jams. I was like, all right, I'm going to stay here for an extra 30 minutes just to hear this band because they're really lit.
Trust me, we're all going to make sure everybody gets their money's worth this weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I've been... Because I was really worried about the price this year. I'm like, are they really going to skimp out on bands? And like, no, a lot of these people just showed up at the last minute just to volunteer.
I think the addition of the Belvedere Lobby Bar as a
it's
performance
a bit cramped,
space,
though.
like...
Yeah.
I mean, it is cramped.
Yeah, it's always cramped.
But, like, it does offer more opportunities for bands to perform, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I appreciate that as well. It's better than, honestly, Jam Space sometimes, which Jam Space shouldn't be used as a concert venue. But that's another story. I don't want to go off topic about
I think that the Jam Clinic has become what the Jam Space used to be, which was, simply a place for musicians to come together and play a bunch of stuff.
And I wanted to ask you about like the music workshops. You're saying like you go to a lot of those. So like, what do you normally take away from those, and what's been your favorite one?
My favorite one has actually been the one I just came from right now. It was a beginner to jamming. They don't really teach you like how to play music. They assume that you have a base knowledge. So like they introduce like the concepts of jamming, like how to like play off of each other, how to like read a leading sheet of music. It doesn't teach you like how to read music because
because that's a more complex thing.
But like if you have a little bit of knowledge with an instrument, or if you're a vocalist, or if you're a drummer, like they welcome anyone to just come up and give it a try. And that's what a lot of these spaces are for, is for beginners who haven't really had the opportunity to do things like this. And they give you an opportunity right here with other people who haven't had an opportunity.
Yeah, I'm fortunate because I was able to record some stuff there 1 year as well as Jam Space. Just record whatever I could come up with. And I put that stuff out on Facebook or other platforms just to rehearse and get basically my feet wet. And like with Sean, last night I was able to go to Jam Clinic briefly, and they did a 2000s band karaoke thing, and where they just spin a wheel and they pick a song from the 2000s that you could play. So I got to play bongos since it was free, and a little bit of tambourine. And sing a little bit in the background on Green Day's Boulevard of Broken Dreams and Kesha's TikTok. So that was fun.
The Jam Clinic is a really great place because, like, you can just go in there and watch people perform, and then they change it up every now and then. Sometimes they do a hard reset of the room so that other people can have an opportunity on instruments. Sometimes they don't refresh it enough, so like the same people are playing a lot.
It really that's my biggest issue really with Jam Clinic is there's people that just kind of hog the equipment, and they don't really teach or help. I remember like 1 year one of the band members there was like extremely rude to me, and the other guy was a friend of mine, and they just took his side really, and I'm like, they're not here this year. I'm kind of glad.
Okay. Yeah. But it's a really cool place.
Yeah, it is.
Because like they have the music on a projector, and then like there are tablets around so that like you have your own personal bit of music, and it has like the chord names up above each part where the music changes into different chords. So like if anyone knows how to play like different chords, like you can follow along even if you don't know how to read music. So it's been my highlight this year because I haven't really had a chance to explore the jam space or the jam clinics or anything like that. I usually hang out in the chiptune space.
Yeah, you yourself said like you really want to do the open mic chiptune thing eventually.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like that's something I go to all the time. Yeah. Like whenever they have open mic there, I'm there like, you know, supporting the people who maybe are not very confident.
I also want to give a shout out to my friend Creative Mindframe. Like he always comes every year, and he's a really super nice guy. He played saxophone on a Pink Floyd cover that I did a couple of years ago, and he's like, he always helps out with guys like Mega Ran. He's helped out with Samus.
Yeah, I think they're all part of the
NPC Collective. Yeah, they were at Otakon one year, and they always show up at MAGFest. So I'm going to try to catch one of his concerts tonight if I can. Yeah. When I'm not just running around doing whatever, because that's basically been yesterday was just me running into stuff and just finding new things. Because I was worried because a couple people blew me off early this year, so I'm like, you know what, gonna just be myself, just run into stuff and see what happens. Exactly, and it's probably been for the best, honestly. The best thing ever is just make something out of nothing, really, and find something. That's basically what MAGFest is.
That's the MAGFest experience right there. Yeah. But with that, I think that's an episode right there.
Pretty much.
That's good for me.
Yeah, that is good.
Any final comments or before we wrap this up?
I do. So this year is the first year I actually bought the Swag. For those who don't know, the Swag is pretty much, it's also a badge itself. It's not the main badge. You might as well say it's two separate things. So there's the regular badge that everyone gets to attend, and then there's the Swag, which is like, it looks like a circuit board, usually with lights or in some sort of design based on the theme for this every year. This year it's in the shape of a barrel because the theme for 2020's MAGFest is Donkey Kong. So it's a fantastic badge, and I almost recommend getting the badges.
Honestly, these are probably my favorite badge designs probably since the Castlevania.
Yeah, the Castlevania one was really good.
2017.
I don't know what the Swag was for that year particularly, but this year a buddy of mine, he actually had a hand in programming the Swags and stuff. So he also knows how to make Joust, and that's how I met him and stuff like that. And so it's got different games on it. It has Snake, Tetris, a maze game, Joust, like a miniature version of Joust.
I had games on it.
Yeah, I mean, well, who knew?
Sean's like jealousy intensifies.
I've been jealous. I just thought it was a badge that lights up, and I thought that was really cool.
There's games on. No, I mean, I think this year's does. I don't know what was on last year's.
Oh, the previous years might not have had games.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I know each one had like a unique feature to it. I think this year might have been just the games. I think there was one where it had like it was like a miniature Wi-Fi spot for one of the years. Nice, so that was a nice convenient one. But that's the only other Swag I knew that has some unique feature to it.
I want one that's a flask.
Oh my gosh!
Flask is my bad.
But they associate it with a particular game. So I mean, what game is drinking like a main thing?
Death Stranding.
They do a lot of retro games, so maybe MAGFest like 2030 or something like that. They'll probably jump to that.
I do want to briefly mention some of my favorite guests I've met over the years. Some of us have met them as well. James Rolfe of Cinema Scare and Amory Video Game Nerd, Aaron Hansen. The dude stayed in line for like 2 to 3 hours just signing stuff. So when people's like, oh, Aaron's a douchebag, I'm like, no, Aaron is like one of the most coolest people to go spend 2 to 3 hours after your wait time to get stuff signed, switching to 3 different locations in the Gaylord just to get that to work. He has nothing but respect for me. Recently, John St. John was great.
Alan McLean
too. I've never really had a bad experience meeting anybody at MAGFest. I just met a person that me and Mo did a remix of using audio from. She's an artist, Subtastic. Her and her boyfriend were really super nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really can't say anything negative about anybody that I've met, really.
Mm-hmm. And we can't go without mentioning David Wise for the theme this year.
Yeah, David Wise, I caught some of his set, but I was like super hungry. But I really wanted to meet him, but I just didn't have the time, really.
Yeah, he's real chill, and like
I met Grant Kirkhope. He was the best. Yeah. He was cool too.
But
that's an episode.
Yeah, that's MAGFest 2020 for us.
Yes, it is.
We'll see you in maybe 2021.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we'll be around.
Yeah. We'll try to record a 4th episode, maybe about something else, maybe an aftermath, or maybe a different topic. We'll see.
Yep. But
have a good night, or have a good day wherever you are.
Yeah. See you later. Bye-bye.
See you around.
Bye-bye.